Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So today I'm going to be checking out the Blackstone 17-inch electric tabletop griddle. Now this one's been a little bit difficult to find, but fortunately it's getting easier. I picked this up on walmart.com for around $117, and there's a larger version available as well. It has a prep card attached to it. That's one that you will pretty much keep outside, and that one costs around $200. I'll leave links in the description to both of those. So I have the 17-inch propane powered electric griddle as well, and that one served me really well cooking outdoors, especially last year. But this is a wonderful alternative to that, because if you live in a place where you can't use propane, because say you live in an apartment, you can't do that stuff, you live on the upper floor, this is going to be perfect for that. And also it comes with a glass hood, something that the version that I have, the propane one, does not have a hood, and to my knowledge they never even came out with one. So this one is very cool and sleek and modern. It has a digital display that tells you what the temperature settings are going to be. Like I said, you got that glass hood, and as usual, the classic Blackstone non-stick surface. All right, so those are all the details. Oh, and if you're into the technical side of things, it's 120 volts at 60 hertz and 1500 watts. So there you go. Let's open it up, see what's inside, and I think I'm going to cook some breakfast stuff on here today. Something really simple: pancakes, bacon. All right, so I got everything all set up here, and let me tell you, this griddle is easy mode. It's not like the propane one where you have to season it before you can use it. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is just wash it like you would anything else that you're going to cook on before you first use it, and then you are good to go. So there's a few different parts that come with this. One is going to be the grease trap right there that just hangs out in the back. And then we also have this hood here. Now, fair warning, if you are someone like me and you have a kitchen that's small, you don't have an island, you don't have a whole lot of clearance from your countertop to your cabinetry, then this hood may not be able to go all the way up. So I'm hitting my cabinet right now. You don't need to use the hood in order to use this, but just word to the wise, if you do have those cabinets that come down a little bit lower, you won't be able to lift this up all of the way unless you just hold it with your hand like that. So let's talk a little bit about this surface. This is a non-stick surface, and it is a ceramic titanium coated surface. You know, that's real fancy, but it's non-stick, all right? It's non-stick. And yeah, it's got a pretty decent amount of space, especially if you're not cooking for a lot of people. One thing I will say about this hood is it's not secured to the unit. It's just sort of resting inside of these notches. So sometimes when you lift this up and you bring this down, it almost feels as if it's going to fall off because it's kind of loose on there, but it's not. It's going to stay, but it's not the most secure hood in the world. All right, so here is how you operate this thing. Got a big old button right here. Love that. All right, so we go and press it in, and you see that we have the temperature that we can set, and then we have the zone temperature. Zone temperature can be a little bit confusing because you're wondering, like, well, what zone am I in? Oh, this is just going to be one zone. Okay, so just kind of look at this as being an indicator of preheating. All right, so I am going to cook some biscuits and some bacon, as well as some pancakes on this thing. So I don't really know what temperature to set it on, but it's simple enough. You just have to turn this dial. You see it goes from 200 all the way up to 500. So 500 if you really want to, you know, cook some steaks on there, high heat. But just getting started, probably just going to keep it at 3. So put it at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, press it again. You hear the click, and then the zone temperature, as you see, is gone down to 2. So as time goes on, it's going to get larger. It's going to increase and increase and increase. And then when it's ready to go, we are going to cook on it. So see you in the few. All right, here we go. Got myself 4 pieces of Oscar Mayer thick cut bacon, which, by the way, the bacon is almost like $7 for a pack now, which is crazy. Holy inflation, Batman. All right, so let's get this show on the road. So like I said, I can't keep this hood up because my cabinets are blocking it, but you know, this will still provide you with a view of me putting the bacon on. See that the display is telling us that the surface is hot. Everything's sliding around pretty good in there so far. Look at that. So far, no stick. Just slapping it down. And there we go. We are cooking bacon. Now we lower the lid. You probably heard it jostling a little bit. So yeah, that lid is a little, ugh. But yeah, it's cooking. And also, because it's a glass lid, we can also look down in there and see our food cooking. So that might give you a little indicator of how much longer you have to go. But of course, lifting it up is always going to be the best way because we're already starting to fog up here. But it's always cool to be able to see your food cooking regardless. All right, so that's what we got going on here. You know, my preferred way of making bacon is always going to be in the air fryer. I can never get it the way that I want it to be on like these other types of flat surfaces, but we still got a ways to go. But as you can see, you know, just flipping these things, and I'm not right-handed, so it's a little bit awkward, but yeah, we're doing it. Come back when it's time to, that lid, man. Come back when I put the pancakes on. So the bacon is done. I had to crank it up to 350 degrees. But before I put the pancakes on, I did just want to push some of this bacon grease to the back inside of the grease trap, which is located in the back. So kind of like by default, the grease is kind of wants to just go to the front, but it doesn't pull in the front, but at the same time, it doesn't just automatically flow to the back. So you are going to have to push the grease into the grease trap if you got too much of it going on. But as you can see just from this surface, that bacon did not stick at all. Like not even little tiny bacon bits. For the first time ever in life, I'm going to be trying the Bisquick shake and pour pancake batter mix. I usually just mix the batter myself, but with this, all I had to do is put a cup and a half of water in here, shake it up real good, and we're going to see how this turns out. All right, so once again, let's just pour a little bit here. My wife likes small pancakes, so I'm going to try to just make them pretty small. And just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put 4 on here, but you can see how much space we have. You know, if you were really trying, you could just line up pancakes all up and down this thing. You know, I feel like pancakes of this size, you could put 1, 2, 3, you'd probably put like between maybe 8 to 10 on here, you know, if you got them relatively close. But yeah, I'm gonna close this lid down, let these cook. You know how pancakes go, they're pretty easy. But yeah, when these are done, I'm gonna come back and give you my final thoughts. All right, all done. Here's basically what it looks like, how everything turned out. And you know, it worked out pretty good. The most impressive part is of course that non-stick surface, nothing stuck to it. But then again, we are talking about bacon that produces its own grease, and the pancakes, which had a higher probability of sticking if it was going to stick, but they did not do it. So, you know, first impressions of this thing, I like it, you know, it's good. I'm a tech head, so I love the huge display that it has. I love the fact that it tells you that it's a hot surface. You don't need a display to tell you if the surface is hot, but I like the fact that they did it. I like the fact that it can tell you when the preheating is going on and when the preheating is done, and you have a variety of temperatures that you can choose from. But I don't want to give the impression that this griddle is doing anything that's drastically different than any other griddle that's cheaper than it is. It still has a regular heating element, and it's still just going to plug into electricity and just heat up the surface, and then you can cook on it. So it's not doing any kind of like fancy technology to enable you to do that. It's just a griddle. But the namesake of Blackstone, which is known to be reliable, known to have good products, I'm a fan of their products. This is something for the people who really want that brand, you want that recognition, and you want something that just looks cool, you know, because look at this. With the lid down, it looks great. The black on orange is a great combination, and it just looks different. It stands out inside of your kitchen. And when it comes to like less expensive griddles, they just look like rectangular slabs, nothing fancy about them. So this is something, if you want to step it up stylistically when it comes to indoor griddles, this is going to be the way to go. And of course, the hood is a great thing to have to prevent all that grease splattering all over the place, getting on your surface and all that stuff. Although the hood is a little bit finicky, it stays on, but just lifting it and closing it, I don't like for my lids to make noises when they do that. It makes me feel like the lid's gonna come off and then it's gonna fly towards me and then it's gonna burn my arm. It's not going to do that, but I just wish that it was on there more securely. But then again, on the plus side, it's easy enough to take it off so that you can wash it. And then it's just going to be easy to clean as well, especially if you do it every time you use it. Don't let the grease cake on and build up. And you cannot put the surface of it, the part that you cook on, you can't put that in the dishwasher. So don't do that. Just get yourself a sponge, some hot water and some soap, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, anyway, guys, this is the Blackstone E-Series 17-inch electric indoor griddle. Definitely one to consider if you don't want to be dealing with propane, and if you're going to be cooking outside, definitely consider the larger one that has the prep trays there to give you a little bit more room, but it does what it says it's going to do and is doing it pretty good so far. So that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.